Welcome to the second video lecture for ENSC 2613. Today we will cover Kirchoff's laws. Kirchoff's laws are a couple of rules that help us make sets of equations that will help us solve our problems. The first of Kirchoff's laws that we will talk about is Kirchoff's voltage law, or KVL. KVL states that if we go around any circuit in a full loop, the sum of the voltages that we cross must equal 0. For instance, if we go clockwise around this circuit, we have negative Vs plus V1 plus V2 equals 0. It also works in a more complicated circuit like this. We can take this first path and say negative Vs plus V1 plus V2 equals 0. We could go around the outside edge and say negative Vs plus V3 plus V5 equals 0. We could also go this obscure path and say negative Vs plus V3 minus V4 plus V2 equals 0. Knowing this, let's try to use KVL to find VR in this problem. If we go clockwise, we can say negative 15 plus VR minus 10 plus 5 equals 0. This equation can be solved to say that VR is equal to 20 volts. Now, sometimes the problems aren't always as straightforward. Let's use KVL to see if we can find I in this branch on the right. Starting with this outer loop, we can use KVL to say minus 5 plus VR equals 0. That means that VR is equal to 10, and based on Ohm's law, we can say that I is equal to 10 divided by 5, which is 2 amps. The second of Kirchoff's laws is Kirchoff's current law. Kirchoff's current law, or KCL, states that the sum of the currents coming in is equal to the sum of the currents going out. For instance, in this example, we have I1, the current in, is equal to I2 plus I3, which is the current going out. Let's use KCL to see if we can find VR. Let's first assign a current into each branch. We have I1, I2, and I3. I1, the current in, is equal to I2 plus I3, the currents out. This equation can be rearranged to say that I3 is equal to I1 minus I2, which is 5 minus 3, which is 2 amps, and VR is 2 amps times 5 ohms, which is 10 volts. We could also use KCL to find the current I1. We need to assign a current to every branch, so we have I1, I2, and I3 again. We say I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. Based on our Ohm's laws, we know that I2 is equal to 3 amps, I3 is equal to 5 amps, and the sum of those is equal to 8 amps. If you're having difficulties understanding where these numbers for the currents came from, please refer back to the Ohm's law video. Here's a bonus problem where you can use everything we've talked about today and some of the stuff we've covered in the past to see if you can find the value for Vs. We're going to give you the answer so you can work it out yourself. Again, if you're having difficulties working out these problems, please feel free to contact your instructor or teaching assistants and we'll be glad to help you. Come back next time and we'll cover parallel and series combinations.